Now we want to make sure that the connection between the side jambs and the tracks, we want to make sure they're waterproofed and absolutely perfect. So
Sure.
this seam here, so we want to start at the top of this track and basically silicone this corner all the way down. We want to come across the top of this part and then down about 1 inch. And so typically what I'm going to do, I'm looking for a nice bead of silicone here. So I'm going to apply my tape.
I know you had talked about the surface protection tape earlier that can sit on there for a year. This tape is meant to go on, silicone happen, and then be pulled off?
That's correct. Yeah, it's just painter's tape.
Okay.
All right. So basically, I like to tape things off. Makes it really, really easy to get straight lines. Even if you put a little bit too much silicone on and you're having to tool it, it's not smearing out and creating a much wider line. So
Sure.
I tape everything off. And basically what I'm going to do is run a bead from the top of here all the way down here, and then past the top of this flashing about 1 inch, somewhere in here. And then I'm going to run a bead across the top of this flashing to seal if any water wants to try and enter there. Again, I have a seal in the track that runs all the way to the corner, but I just want to make sure it's sealed up nice. So I'm going to do that on this corner and that corner, apply my silicone, and then I'm going to do the same on the bottom. So on the bottom here, I'm going to start about 1 inch above the bottom of this flashing, and I'm going to run a bead of silicone on this corner all the way down to the bottom, and then I'm going to run across the bottom of this flashing too. Again, if you do that T shape, it seals everything up really, really nice.
Perfect.
That basically gives us a really nice watertight perimeter. And then we've got our seals and between our panels and the frame that this thing is airtight and watertight.
Perfect.
Okay, so we have our exterior jam extension, we call them exterior flashings. And you're gonna have at minimum 3 parts to 5 parts.
Okay.
And so 2 pieces that are square cut on both ends, and those are at the sides, leaning up there behind you.
Okay.
So they're square cut on both ends, leaning up against the wall there.
Oh, here?
Yep.
Okay.
So those pieces are square cut on both ends and have holes in one face. And then you're gonna have 1, 2, or 3 pieces that have this notch cut in them.
Okay.
And so one end should have a notch. If it's one piece if it's a small enough system where one 10-foot section can fit across, it'll have these notches in both ends.
Okay.
And then if it's wider than 20 feet, sometimes you'll have 3 of these.
Sure.
So we're gonna start on this right side.
Right upper.
Correct.
Okay.
The rivet face, it should be sitting like an L, like that. And you're gonna have rivet holes in one of the faces.
Okay.
So you shouldn't have to drill any holes in these.
Okay.
They should align with the holes in the track. Now, these can come at different lengths for different jam extension.
Okay.
So it's important to know that, hey, your rivets are always going to be, rivet holes are against the track, and you want to be able to flush the top of this with the top of the track, and those should meet up. So if you pass me a rivet.
Your rivets are on yours.
Oh, perfect.
Okay, so the purpose of the side, the extensions is what?
So this allows the exterior finish to come and butt to a square edge. They don't have to turn a corner, they don't have to do additional trim, it just butts straight into this.
So it looks like it's actually going to be covering up part of the frame. So from the exterior, the frames are actually going to look even smaller once you've got your finish work done exteriorly.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep. So I can dry fit these in. Basically, you're going to place this top one in, you're going to put your rivets in, and then fasten those rivets. You can work from one end. Usually I start from one end and work that way.
Do the other top next?
Correct.
Okay.
So the notches always go on one side or another.
Okay, and then you said you want the small part of the L flush with the top.
Correct.
And we can dry fit in some rivets. Now that we've got the top, what do we do with the sides?
So the sides are gonna go on and sit underneath that drip edge.
Okay.
And so you're gonna be thoughtful about aligning these holes. Okay. All right, so based off of how these holes line up, you're always going to configure it with the outward ledge towards the center of the system.
Okay.
So that flat leg lays against that outside, and you can dry fit these just like you would the top. With these exterior jam extensions, once they're riveted in, they're going to create this build out where your exterior finish can come down and butt into a square edge. And so same on the sides. So this configuration is for like a stucco finish. You can see it's about a 1-inch extension out that allows them to put their J-trim in and finish stucco or hardy in against these nice square edge and cover a portion of the upper frame and the side jam. Once this install is complete, normally these shims will get knocked off on the outside. You can snap them off. So you have a really nice watertight, airtight finish around the outside perimeter. You'd start on your sides, you'd put your flashing tape, and then one across the top to shingle down. And you're basically connecting that flashing tape to our frame and to the framing. And so you get a really nice watertight and airtight seal around the perimeter. And then you can spray foam from inside and fill any voids around the frame. So now we're gonna look at our lock and our latch, our latch function and our lock function to make sure that everything engages properly. Okay. And also when it's in the full lock position, it's a really nice vertical reveal. All right, so we're gonna test our latch function. We're gonna look at our top and bottom locks and make sure that the engagement is proper and the final reveal is nice on those little handles. So we're gonna close this system, it's fully latched. We're gonna lock, okay, that feels really nice and smooth. So we're gonna turn this 90 degrees and that engages the upper lock. And then the same on the bottom, we're gonna turn this 90 degrees. Both feel really, really nice. At the full lock position, this lock thumb turn is actually not sitting perfectly plumb, right? So it's
not straight up and down.
Correct.
Yep.
So we want to adjust that just to make everything look perfect. So what we have is adjustability in these latch plates in here. So as I adjust it up or down, it's gonna change that finish point for that little lock.
Right.
And so I know that it's throwing too far past 90 degrees.
Yep.
So I'm gonna wanna adjust this latch plate down.
Okay.
So I'm gonna unlock it. I'm gonna open the panel. This is an M3. Again, we have our Allen wrench. And just move it down just a tiny bit. Now, there are things that can affect this latch position, the lock position, more than just the position of these plates. So the height of these panels will affect it. Yep. There's a lot of a track adjustment that can affect this. So really you don't want to adjust these until our track adjustment is completely done.
So we've kind of finished every other adjustment.
Correct.
Okay. Sure.
Yep. So I'll do this. This one still needs to come a little bit. That one looks pretty good.
Yep.
So I know I only tightened the bottom one. Check it again. There.
Much better.
Nice vertical alignment. So now that we've got our latch
locking mechanisms
working correctly, finishing correctly, now we're going to work. Now we're going to finish the outside cosmetic cover.
Okay.
And this is the cover that will cover up that hole.
Just right here.
Correct. Okay. So again, opening, this is where your wheel releases, but we just don't want water or anything coming in.
Raccoons.
There. Correct. And you'll notice that these holes are pre-drilled in the frames by our production crew, and they are in the right spot. Okay. So you don't have to worry about lining this up.
These holes right here.
Correct.
Okay.
So you don't have to worry about trying to get these straight, getting this sitting. It's all been done for you.
Okay, so this is mounting to the actual daily door itself.
Correct. So this cover is going to stay on the daily door as it opens and closes.
Perfect.
And only when that door is closed is it covering this.
Okay.
So inside this part, you have 2 slots where the screws go.
Yep.
So you do have some side-to-side adjustment if you'd like.
Okay.
But no vertical adjustment. Okay. It's going to sit where it needs to sit.
These holes are pre-tapped as well.
They are. They're drilled and tapped for your M4 screw.
Perfect.
So normally I'll feed one in, get the second started. And then with them loose, you can see you have a little bit of side-to-side adjustment. And you really just want to make sure that you're not rubbing or hitting a side of the wheel guide cover.
Okay.
It looks like I have full clearance both sides, so I'll try and put these right in the center of that slot.
Sure.
Tighten them up. Again, you don't want to crank on these too hard, but it's sitting nice and tight. There are no water, air, raccoons going in.
Yeah, perfect.
Cool. Okay, so now you have the door system opened up.
Yep.
And we have all our adjuster holes and our fastener holes wide open. So we have a little flush hole plug.
Okay.
And these just, you put them in the hole and press them and they'll kind of snap in and sit flush.
Okay.
So this just hides any bare metal. I'll give you some. You can put some in that side jam. You got to get in behind that daily door.
Perfect.
And so they're fairly easy to snap into place. We can go make sure all these holes are filled.
All right, looks like I need 2 more.
Looks like we have 2 extra.
Perfect.
So you should always get extra of these hole plugs if you damage 1 or 2, you know, pressing them in. So at this point, the system is done. We are happy. If you have a different type of waterproofing that you want to do, you can do that. Typically, we like to cover the system with poly to protect it from the subcontractors, that sort of thing. That's up to the discretion of the installer. So the last thing that we want to do is really lubricate everything up, get all the dust cleared out of the track, and operate this thing a couple more times just to make sure that, hey, there's no nothing binding up. It operates perfect.
Okay.
So basically what we're going to do is with the first panel, as it goes in, I have really good access to the front wheel here.
Yep.
I don't love spraying lubricant while it's out of the track because it can kind of spray everywhere.
Yep.
And so this way I can spray directly onto that wheel here. It stays inside the track. As soon as I spray it, I can move it along the track, and then I can reach up here and spray inside the track on that back upper wheel. The upper wheels are the really big ones.
Okay.
And then as this slides along, I can reach down here and I can lubricate that back pivot wheel as well.
You're saying spray lubricant. What kind of lubricant?
So we use like a silicone-based lubricant. Okay, so this system is in. It operates well. It's all sealed up. Again, we haven't riveted some things on. We haven't done the flashing tape. Kind of up to installer's discretion.
Yep.
A few things to note. You're going to see some white tape that's holding on end caps. That can be removed whenever. That can be left on.
Glass.
Same, yes. So any protection that is on these panels or on the tracks can be removed now, or it can be left on. It's not going to hurt it to leave it until the end of the construction.
Okay.
The last thing is your waterproofing around the perimeter of the system.
Yep.
We kind of touched on that. We usually recommend spray foaming the interior side. Fill those voids up.
Okay.
And then it's really good to run a solid bead of, we use liquid flash normally. And that would start up 6 inches on either side, and it would run down the back side of the side jam on the interior side and across the entire length of the lower track on the interior side.
Now that's on the lower track interior side in front of the back dam for the sill.
Correct. Yep. So again, the sill pan is to catch everything, worst case scenario. This solid bead of silicone allows, hey, there's no air blowing through. You can put a bead on the outside as well. I recommend leaving some gaps for water to get out if there's water getting in underneath the track. And so again, that back dam is keeping everything from coming into the house. But you don't necessarily want water sitting inside your sill pan permanently either. So, all right. So
we're done.
We're done.
We did it.
We did it.
We made it.